I've been having kind of an emotional breakdown for the past week or so, or maybe identity crisis, and I wanted to really talk about it. Um, I'm smiling because now that I'm getting out of it, I realize what it meant and beauty of it. But when you're in the midst of it, it's like very um, weird, and you feel lost and you don't understand. And in the beginning, I didn't even process it as a crisis or breakdown, because I put it on pregnancy hormones, I guess. I could not wake up in the morning. I was waking up around 9 or 10 a.m., which is early for some people, but it's very late for me. I'm an early bird. I'm a morning person. I love to wake up with the sun, especially in the summer. I wake up very early just because it's the light is in the room and I feel like the day is starting without me anyway. Um, and so I could not wake up in the morning. I was a lot on my phone. um, I I was triggered easily. I was crying for no reason. But at the same time, my life is so beautiful and soft, and I could not imagine having any reason to feel anything else but grateful and content and happy and aligned. So I didn't process it for a long time, and the emotions that you don't process are getting stuck and um, deeper with time. So I remember my husband making me a matcha at home, and he did it with so much love, and I felt so sorry, but I started to cry because the ice, I think I recall the ice was um, melting too fast, and the cup was getting too full, and I was like crying over it, and my husband was like helpless and I myself could not even understand it. But in that moment I was like, okay, this is kind of crazy even as a pregnant woman, and this is not in my character. And I guess there is something deeper right there, and maybe something's wrong actually. And now that I understand it from the other side, let's say, I realized that what was happening was a lot of things, but we can start by the fact that I created for myself a very soft, beautiful um, life, at least in the way that I perceive it and want to experience it. I know it's not the desire of everyone. Some people want to build an empire. Some people want to become billionaires or things like that. My deepest desire is to have this like time to really enjoy life fully and enjoy the beauty of it while it lasts, I guess, and feel like I live in harmony, in love, in beauty. And I feel like I created that for myself, and I love that for me. To not having to work hard for it, but being able to rely on energy and luck and love and relationships and nature and all of that. Being lazy, even not lazy any as uh, when you feel heavy with life and you are lazy because you have so many things to do and process and be, and um, you feel almost tired, but this laziness that is just a lightness, a feminine energy, like um, a chance to be lazy, to have time, to get bored. I love that. I love to feel available. I love to feel that I have time, that I can be my most spontaneous self and all of that. And I also feel that for me, because we are all different, and that's the reason that it works uh, for us to just be ourselves, because there are various people who can do other things or things differently. So I get to be my lazy self and enjoy that embodiment, just because not everyone wants to be that lazy, spontaneous, slow self. Some people want to live life fast, some people want other things. And for me, I feel that this is what makes me glow and makes me the most beautiful and makes me the most myself and the most aligned. But since I became pregnant, and even probably a few months before that, because it was planned in a way that we wanted to have a child this year. And I guess I unconsciously let go of that identity that was a part of my core identities. And I started convincing myself that I needed to become different in order to be, I guess, a good mom. Because when I dig into that topic, I realized that I wanted to embody the mom that I didn't feel I had, for myself when I grew up. And I know my mom did her best and what she could with what she had and her resources. And I'm not talking financially, I'm talking mostly emotionally, that I still didn't felt like I was getting what I needed from her as a mom. And so there was like a trigger warning in my head, like, I really need to be what my kid, child, future baby needs me to be for him. And I started putting pressure on myself and changing myself and rejecting and almost being ashamed of that side of me that was lazy and spontaneous and feminine and soft, because I felt like this is not going to be enough for a baby. This was enough for you as a single girl, or as a even married woman, but who has the luxury of time and all of that. But you need to change for your baby. You need to be everything that it needs you to be, or that it needs from you. And financially, you need to go higher. You need to have more money. You need to, yeah, I don't know. I started to really pressuring myself to be the mom that I wanted to be, which was not really the mom that I wanted to be, but the mom that I was scared, like running away from the mom I was scared to be, which was the mom that could not provide everything for her child or kid. But now, of course, I understand that I can never provide 100% of the things that my child will need in his life, because I'm not alone. I'm not alone. He has his dad, he has his family, his grandparents. He will be lucky to have so many people loving him around him. I'm not alone. And even if I was alone, my kid cannot grow only from my branch. He will get friends and colleagues and his own soulmates in his life. And he will learn from teachers and from books and so many things. Um, and he will get love, I hope, from so many other person than me. So removing that from my shoulder, like, I'm not the sole provider for my kid. Actually, of course, I want to love him as much as I can and to provide for him as much as I can, but I don't need to put that pressure on me that it will fully everything rely on me. And also, what he will mostly need from me is my time, my energy, my love, emotional connection, respect. All of that I can offer without having to build an empire before having him, or become a billionaire or even a millionaire before having him. He will need, of course, basic care, which demands a certain amount of money, but nothing that needs, nothing that ask me to remove a part of myself to become someone else, just because I'm scared to not being able, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'm talking too much about it. It doesn't matter so much, but I was having that deeper um, desire and fears that were driving me to erase a part of myself. And so I started pushing away that lazy, soft, lucky side of me, trying to imitate something more masculine with more discipline, the hardworking woman I thought I needed to be. But of course, it was far from my own nature, and so it was not working. And seeing that there was no result was making me even more pressured and even more pushing into that embodiment that was far from my own natural embodiment. And it was a circle inside which I was um, unconsciously pushing and turning for a few months actually, and getting my nervous system a bit stressed internally, even though my life circumstances didn't change. I mean, I still live in a small village in Germany. My life is soft, everything is beautiful, but internally I was having this pressure and this nervous system impact, and this wheel inside of which I was turning. And I was feeling the frustration, but I didn't know what to do with it. And so I was just piling it inside, and I was losing a bit of my creativity and clarity and direction. But I kept pushing because internally it was a deep desire to be the mom that I dreamed to be, and I could not let go of that. Which I don't have to let go of, but in that moment, in my head and unconscious, it felt like I need to either let go of being the mom that I wanted to be, or either let go of um, myself and that part of me. But actually, the frustration, like so many times in life, was not here to punish me. It was here to show me the way. Like, frustration is here to show you that this is not maybe the direction for you. This is maybe not the way. And in the end, you are almost happy to not getting what you wanted to have, because it leads you to being the person that you really want to be, which is way more precious than a sum of money. I mean, if I start pushing and changing myself and removing the parts of myself that I really love, because it's not a problem to change yourself. We will change anyway in this life, but to force a change against your own nature and to force a change because you think that's the person you need to be when it's actually deep down not the person that you are, this is really destroying your soul and yourself. And when you do that, there is no amount of money or success that can actually bring you that back, you know? And so there is no point in succeeding or having the results when you go in the wrong direction. And God knows that. The universe knows that. Whatever you believe in, like, life knows that it's not the path, and it will create some blockage, it will create some walls in front of you, and it will feel frustrating, but those walls are actually guiding you. So instead of trying to push them or finding a new tool to break them down, just try to contour them, just try to take another road, just try to wonder, is it really my path, is it really my way? And for me it was not, because my prosperity, my beauty, my shine, my happiness really comes from that part of me, side of me, who allows herself to be soft and feminine and slow and, lazy, creative, spontaneous. And if I remove that, then it's not even me succeeding anymore, because it's not me anymore. And so success doesn't mean anything in that moment. And when I realized that, I felt like I lost myself for a moment, only to find myself again, like way deeper than before. Because there is also this thing, when you are an identity and embodiment coach, you are aware that everything is just identity. You realize that those are just identities. Even when I say that I'm lazy, spontaneous, whatever type of person, those are just identities, and I'm aware of it. But still, if you don't let anything define you, you start losing yourself even more, because you enter this very spiritual mind and world where you are nothing, nothing defines you, and you are just a soul in this life, which is actually true deep down. But the thing is that in this life, for a short time, you are also a body, a physical body with some limitations, with some identities that you will choose and embody, and with a certain coloration that you can project into some identities. And so at the same time, you need to realize that those are just identities and you play with them. And then when you die, all of this will die with you, but you will still continue your journey. So at the same time, it doesn't really matter so much, but at the same time, it does matter, because this is how you also enjoy this such a small moment, being a human, exploring emotions and relationships and love and all of that. And you need to be able to let yourself be defined, which doesn't mean that you are not conscious, which doesn't mean that you cannot question them. Maybe in 5 years I will question that lazy side of me. Maybe in 5 years I will question that spontaneous side of me. Maybe it will not serve me anymore. Maybe I will want to go on another journey, another lifeline. But for now, they resonate with me. I embody them effortlessly. They make me happy. They make me aligned. They create the life that I want to live. And so I need to let myself be able to be defined with some identities, even though I know they are just identities. And I guess the hardest for me was to remove the shame that I built around it, because when you are in this embodiment of a soft, slow, lazy, spontaneous, creative, feminine person, you need also to understand that this will come with a different way of manifesting things: beauty, abundance, prosperity. And you cannot copy a masculine woman building an empire, go getter, no pain, no gain kind of energy. You will not have the same path as that person. Not that one path is better than another, just it will create different lifeline. And so when you start comparing yourself in that moment, you don't realize that, okay, the way for my type of embodiment to get things is also through softness and femininity and all of that. So it will not always look like me going and getting things. It will most of the time look like things coming to me naturally, effortlessly. And we think we want effortless, but when we get effortless, it actually feels weird, because we cannot understand if we really deserve it or not. We cannot understand if we really created it or not. We cannot really be sure that um, we will be secure in the future, we will have so much luck in the future or not. It creates a lot of questions to accept, to do things differently, to accept that, okay, I embody that, but it means that maybe my prosperity will often comes from outside of me. And I know myself, and how I get money is often from something that comes from outside randomly. I'll suddenly get a big amount of money from an unexpected place. And currently, my husband, for example, will naturally provide and love his provider identity for himself. And so there is a part behind being that creative, feminine, soft, slow version that can be shameful just because it's unfamiliar. It's not always externally respected or understood. And people will see my husband provide, for example, and think, oh, you know, she's not doing anything, he's doing everything, or whatever they can think about that. But do you see that my husband's salary when he married me made times 10? Do you see that I am able to multiply the money that he brings home? Do you see that I'm able to appease his soul? Do you see that I'm able to, manage also the money that's coming to not make it a big hole? Because some people have a lot of money, but they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to invest it. They don't know how to, deal with it. So you don't see all of those parts of me. And so it's my job to understand my nature, my way of doing things, to be confident in that, and to remove the shame around it. It's maybe different, it's maybe not the norm, but there is nothing shameful about it. And why it won't be as good as any other path to prosperity? If it's easy for me, if it's effortless for me, if it makes me happy and people around me happy. It's not like I'm stealing the happiness of another person to be myself happy. I don't buy into this trade life culture that, oh, my husband, his role as a husband is to go to the, like, working hard and doing like shitty things. I don't care. I want my money to buy things for myself. It's not that mindset at all. It's not that entitlement queen energy at all. It's a respect for everyone's nature, and just a combination of two natures that go well together, where everyone can be happy and embodying what they want to embody with the life that they want to live. And then it's just flowing. It's just easy. And for some people, it's easy to be no pain, no gain, to motivate themselves, to discipline themselves. My easy is not your easy. And that's a good thing. That's why we can combine ourselves as human beings in relationships, even with some friends. It can be even, I'm taking love as an example, but it can be even in your friendship group. Maybe you want to combine your nature with a friend to make your life easier, because she likes to do that and you don't like to do that, and she can do that for you and you can do that for her, because for both of you it's easy. What's difficult for another person, or what's annoying for another person, is your easy. The same way I love to do the dishes. Why? I don't know. I love to do dishes. Maybe it's from my childhood, maybe it's from my education. I have no idea. I love to do the dishes. Unfortunately, we have a dishwasher at home, so I don't get to do the dishes anymore. But if someone needs to do the dishes, I'm happy to do it 100% of the time at home. And it's not me sacrificing myself doing the dishes when my husband never do the dishes. No, it's my easy. It's not his easy. He will do his easy and I will do my easy, and everyone can have an easy life, you know? So I think some things became shameful that just because it's unfamiliar and different. The way it became so natural to rely on a boss with a salary for money. But why is it more natural? Why is it more accepted than relying on anyone else for money? Why my husband providing money, for example, would be more risky than a boss giving you money? You will say, because I work for it. Okay, well, I feel like I'm myself for it. I feel like what I provide is worth it also. And you will tell me, but I have a contract. But you know what? Marriage is also a contract. Marriage is also a contract if you want to go there. And you can always make a contract with your husband, with that person, with whoever is giving you money, whatever you feel. So why really is it more secure? You will tell me, because a husband can leave you, or this and that person can leave you. You think a boss cannot teach you? I know you're more intelligent than that. The only reason you feel more secure is because you feel like, okay, if that boss ditch me, I can go in another company and find another job, another boss who will give me money. But you think you have the ability to rebound and find something else and work for yourself or find another boss. And I would not have the capacity to rebound also, to work for myself if necessary, to find another way if necessary. It's exactly the same situation, except one became shameful for women and one became the norm. And you will tell me because uh, men get the power on women with their money. I'm not saying it never happens, but you know what? If you look at the statistics, most of the time women stay trapped in a marriage or a relationship because of emotional reason, not financial ones. And you know it because maybe you've been stuck in a relationship before and it was not because you liked money or you were not able to think of a way to make some money. It was because emotionally you were trapped and confused or whatever. So I'm really not saying like anyone should rely on their husband and the husband should work and the woman should be at home. I'm really not uh, in that branch of thought. I'm just saying you should understand your nature and allow yourself to follow it with confidence that you will also find a way if necessary. You will also create opportunities for yourself. You can be creative. You can continue to do what you love to do. It doesn't mean that stop working, don't do anything, don't study anything, don't get interested in anything. Just live under the a man's belt. Not at all. But it means if you have this ability to be soft and feminine and creative and lazy in a good way, lazy as in light and enjoying time and boredom. Use that and don't be ashamed of that. One of my friends wrote me the other day and she was like, I need to get up at 5 a.m. I'm realizing that in order to allow myself to be in my lazy side, I need first to make a lot of money. And I thought, it's her reality. I don't want to judge it. But for me, I never felt, even before having a husband, I was uh, revealing that side of me because for a long time also I was I didn't grow in an environment that allowed me to be myself. So it was part of me since childhood because I remember when I was a child, everyone was always everywhere we were going with my mom, everyone was offering me some things, some chocolate, some money. A friend of my mom would come home and just give me money for no reason. I was going to a shop and people would give me some chocolate, some this, some that, constantly, all the time. And my mom was frustrated about it because she wanted to teach me that life is hard and you need to work hard. And she's really into that mindset and it works for her. But yeah, it was very interesting. So I always embody that naturally and effortlessly. But of course, for a while I erased it in my young adulthood and tried my mom's way because that's how I was raised, but it was never who I was deep down. And so when I heard my friends say that, I was thinking, it's funny because I never needed money to be able to allow myself to be in my lazy, creative, spontaneous side. And it doesn't mean that I don't need money. I'm aware that we live in a world where money rules and we need it for rent and groceries and all of that. And I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying that it was never an expectation for me to allow myself to be myself and in the embodiment and identities that I really felt inside of me. And I also didn't realize it until now, but when I was working from Instagram, and I was also an identity and embodiment coach, but I was working in French. So that's why I kind of start from zero in English and with this YouTube channel right now. But I was attracting a lot of very wealthy clients, women who were making 30,000, 40,000 a month, millions of euros coming to me, and I was very flattered and I was very grateful to do my job, and I was loving what I was doing, but I never really understood why they come to me. Like, I'm not financially above them, and I didn't really understand it fully. And now I understand that they wanted to understand the secret of how, without a lot of money, I could allow myself to be so lazy and confident and glowing and soft and feminine and all of that. Because even with all the money they had, they could not access that. Because you don't access that with money, you access that with authorization, internal authorization to just be who you want to be. And then I thought, here I am trying to erase the single part of me that is actually creating my prosperity, that is actually creating my beauty, that is actually making me shine and creating my dream life. I'm here trying to erase it to become that no pain, no gain, disciplined, hardworking woman I think I need to be, and enter some kind of mold in my head of what my child would need from me, which is not the case. And it's so stupid, I felt like it's so stupid what I'm doing. And so really I want to really insist on the fact that I'm not saying we should all be lazy. I'm not saying we should all be like me. I'm not saying my way is better than another way. I'm saying when you find your way, you feel it because it's like coming back to your center, and you feel like it's easy to embody, it's effortless to embody, and it feels like home a little bit. So for me, this center is that I live soft and beautifully and creatively, and I never worked hard for it unless in the moments that I convinced myself that I needed to work hard for it, but it never gave result for me to push and work hard, to be honest. And if you are like me, or if you feel inside of you like a different path, something that calls you differently, but you don't trust it or you are ashamed of it, just give yourself permission, or at least this video is here to give yourself this permission that maybe you can't reach or find to give yourself inside of you for now, because it's scary. It is. It looks crazy to say that being lazy is scary, but it is actually scary to allow yourself to be lazy, for example, because you never learn to link it with prosperity. You never learn to create from that point, you know? And you feel crazy for a bit to even imagine that you will create prosperity being lazy or whatever it is for you. But really, when you give yourself permission to be exactly that right now, not later, not as a reward, when I will work enough, then I can be lazy. When I will make enough money, then I can be lazy. No, if it's you, if it's your identity, it means that's with that you need to create the most. So use that as a starting point for your embodiment, and watch how life can make you so lucky. And we are a little bit scared of luck because luck seems unpredictable, but then you learn that it's not random. Luck is not so random as we think it is. But you know what? I think that's for another video. Babe, you got this. See you in the next one.